Hey y'all, and welcome back to Remedy Reads. My name is Renee and I'm so glad you're here. So today I'm doing a really fun video that I've been really excited about. One of my most favorite things to do is shop. And so because I'm an avid reader and a little bit bookish, I tend to shop for the bookish essentials that make my life just a little bit easier and more fun. So I'm going to share that with you today in this video. So let's get to the bookish goodness. Okay, so the first items that I'm going to share with you are pretty practical. I mean, I would say all of these are very practical and things we probably already use, but maybe these are like little luxurious upgrades to those very practical things. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is bookmarks. Let me be real with you. I dog ear books. I feel like I am about to create a war in the bookish community with this confession, but it's fine. I dog ear books a lot. I am a mom and I am busy, and typically I just am reading on the fly all the time. So it takes a lot for me to remember not to dog ear a book. And then I realized one day that I don't care, so I dog ear books. But there are times when I do use bookmarks, and when I do use them, I have two favorites. The first is a leather bookmark, and I will have all of these linked down below in the description box, so if you're interested, and I will have all of the items I talk about pop up right here so that you can follow along. But anyway, leather bookmarks. Those are my favorite. They're really durable. They don't get trashed in my purse, bent or torn very easily. I love them. And they are not super pricey, and you can monogram them. So I just feel like it's a nice touch. I really like them for myself and to give as gifts. I do have another favorite by a company called WMS & Co. I believe it's a female-owned company, and they make a folded metal corner bookmark. I love it. It stays on securely, it looks elegant, and I use it mostly for my concurrent reads so that as I tote this book around, even if it's a cookbook, I'm able to make sure the bookmark stays in there, and I really like that because I have lost probably 250,000 bookmarks, and I think that's why I just kind of started dog-earing things. But these two bookmarks, these two types are like my jam, so highly recommend. In the same vein of holding the page, I love book weights. So something that I do also is a lot of writing and editing, and a lot of times I'll have heavier text open, or I'll have just things that I'm referring back to that I don't want moving around or sliding off my desk or things like that. And so I use a lot of book weights, and I actually have my two favorites right here next to me. Again, this is a leather book weight that I actually got as a gift and fell in love with. It's so cute. I freaking love it. Can you see it? Let me see. It's precious. I don't know. There you go. I don't know. Then by WMS & Co. they also make a book weight, and my favorite is the brass, but it's folded. It's just this fantastic folded weight. Oops. It's a little heavy. It's not super heavy, but the leather one's heavier, but I just love it. It's great. It works so well, and it can also double as a bookmark, so that's great too. And then, so like, yeah, book weights are the way to go. They are really great gifts, especially for students. But if you're bookish and you read outside, they're fantastic for that too, because the wind will not play with your pages. Okay, the next thing is a cardigan or a blanket. So I know this is like a very like common, and so like obviously a cardigan, obviously a blanket, like if it's cold. But I feel like particularly when you're talking about the bookish aesthetic, like a cardigan is where it's at, and we always are finding ways to blanketize clothing elements like socks and pants and stuff. It's like, can you make me pants out of a blanket, please? Thank you. I need to read for hours. And so I will say any blanket will do, but my favorite cardigan has got to be the Alex Milk with Cup of Joe. They collaborated on a reading cardigan. I don't know if it's still in stock or if they will restock, and so I am sorry for sharing something wonderful that you may not be able to get, but this is just an idea. This cardigan was made for readers in that the two pockets, larger pockets on the sides, actually hold a paperback, and there's a small little pocket for a bookmark, and I just think that that's so fabulous. It was so fun when I found out about it, and I splurged and got it, so highly recommend. If you find Bookish cardigans like that, like it's basically a tote bag that you wear. It's fantastic. Next favorite, this is actually another clothing item, and this was a gift to me from my husband, and I didn't know that I love it when I got it. I was a little skeptical, but it really rings true in the sense that it's like blanket clothing, like I said before. So it's called the Spur of the Moment hoodie dress by Free People. Love it. So I'm a little short, so it actually goes down further on me than it does in the photo, but it is absolutely cozy, comfy. Like if you can get it on sale, ask for it as a gift. It is a little bit pricey, but otherwise it's probably one of the greatest investments you can make, like as far as comfort clothing, working from home. It's wonderful. I love it. So highly recommend. And then a journal. So I'll show you mine. This is my journal. I am kind of a pen and paper person more than like a digital journaling or digital tracking for reading. I try to be better about Goodreads and things like that, especially now joining BookTube, but I think it's just going to be something that's really hard for me to commit to because I just don't enjoy typing out reviews and things like that more than I enjoy writing it. The other part is that I tend to take a lot of notes, things that inspire me if I can use a book in therapy, or things that like I want to mention or think about later. It always helps me to be able to journal that and write that down. And so for me, a journal is always going to be my first option. So yeah, I will link the journal that I use, and if you're interested, this cover for the journal that I use, especially if you're into fountain pens, you'll really like this journal, I think. So the next bookish item that I love, and I think everybody else in the bookish community loves, is sticky notes and sticky flags for your books for annotating. I think it's obvious what we use it for. I will link my favorite, slightly more luxe page flags and sticky notes in the description box. They're from Cloth and Paper. They have some beautiful colors and I love that. So I'll link those below. But another alternative that might be a little bit more eco-friendly and durable, if that's something you look for, are book darts. I absolutely love book darts. I was recommended book darts from a friend when I was doing a Bible study, and I'd never heard of them before. But they're essentially metal, pointed metal pieces that slide very easily and carefully onto pages, so there's no ripping, dents, marking, and they don't leave marks after time either. They're also pretty cost effective, so you can use them like page flags. You can leave them in there. I do not believe that they're as cheap as page flags, but if you have a book that is just a little bit more special, or you know that you want to make sure that those flags or pages stay marked, this is a great option. I think I'm exclusively switching over to them because I find that the page flags get jammed between the back of my bookcase and the book, and it does weird things to the pages, or the page flags are all bent one way and it makes rereading kind of tedious. So that's not a big deal, but highly recommend book darts if you you know, are over page flags and you kind of want something different, a little bit less intrusive when you're reading or rereading. Another favorite is this chai tea mix. Okay, I drink coffee and I drink tea, and I pretty much drink any form of caffeine after having my son. I really don't care how it gets into my body sometimes, but if I'm being honest, the best experience for me is tea, and I especially love chai tea. And I searched for a very long time to try to figure out the best concentrate or the best version that I could make at home. Because it's hard for me to like get out, and in the morning you kind of just want your warm drink. So I found the Reluctant Trading Experiments Bollywood Theater Masala Chai. Here it is. Give you a little bit of a close-up. There we go. So I buy it in the bigger containers, and obviously buying a pound of tea is not cheap, but it lasts for a very, very long time. You make it stovetop and you boil it with milk and sugar. It's fantastic. It's very spicy. The proportions of the spices in here to the tea are amazing. Like this, I don't know personally because I've never had the authentic experience of chai tea, but I've heard that this is the most authentic version of chai tea you can order in the United States. I don't know, but I do know that the Bollywood Theater, I believe, is a actual restaurant or venue in the northwest of the United States, maybe Portland, and the chef there is the one who came up with this mixture and made the proportions because he wanted a more authentic experience for his diners. So I'm just super grateful that he decided to do that because it's delicious. It's exactly what you want. It's exactly the level of spice that I was looking for. I mean, it is, oh, it's so good. Highly recommend. And they sell smaller sizes, so you don't have to splurge on the biggest size if that's not for you. Okay, next thing. For all of us who are bookish, I think something that's so fun is to collect like memorabilia or things that closely connects to like the books we love or the things that we find special in books that inspire us, because that's truly what it is. These authors are giving us these stories that help connect us and help us live in the moment of these stories and feel like we are going somewhere and doing something that maybe we couldn't do in real life. So it's fantastic. So buying into that aspect of reading, I recently have found the world of like bookish pins, bookish t-shirts, bookish mugs, all of those wonderful things. I'm not yet to the candle phase because I'm very specific about candles and like what I want them to smell like, and it's hard to imagine what like the wintry forest might smell like or something like that. So I'm not there yet, but I found the ideal bookshelf. This shirt is from there. It says Bibliophile. I think they make it in white and red as well. Fantastic. I love it. I also have their anti-racist mug. Highly recommend it. The images don't come off of the mug when you dishwash it. I think I use it maybe like 3 or 4 times a week, and the images are bright and beautiful and clear, and I dishwash it. I don't hand wash it. I should have been probably more thoughtful about that in the beginning, but for whatever reason I did not think about it. But yeah, so here is a plug for a small business that I really enjoy, The Ideal Bookshelf. You might have already heard of them, but if not, they're linked down below. Go check out their website. They're fantastic. And they just have tons of like bookish gear, like tote bags too, and prints, tons of stuff. And then my final and most favorite investment, by the way, I'm looking down because I made a list, and all my videos will have that because I always make lists. My favorite very cheap investment was a mug warmer. So I take forever to drink things, probably like 3 hours maybe for like 1 cup of coffee. I don't know. But a lot of things that I like to drink get really gross when they're cold, especially coffee and things like that. Sometimes with a chai tea, it's so strong that I can throw it over some ice cubes and pretend it was ice the whole time, but with coffee, I cannot do that. And so I was very excited to finally invest in a warming mug. So here's the thing. There's the Ember warming mug. I've seen that one and a few other brands, but they're all kind of expensive, and I wasn't sure that I wanted to invest in a mug warmer that had a specific mug and a specific warmer. I just don't know that I'm that together to make that work. So actually what I did was I bought a cheapy candle warmer from Amazon to see if it would work, and I think it was about $10, and I'll link the one I got. Totally works. Totally works. I don't like steaming hot coffee or drinks anyway. Like, I like them, you know, a little bit warmer than room temperature, and I knew that's not the consensus. Pretty much everyone tells me that's not the way they like it, so y'all might not like it this way, but it does keep the temperature up on your coffee for hours. Like, it's wonderful, and it's $10, and you can use any mug. What I have found is you have to be careful with the kind of mug. Like, you have to make sure it has a handle. You have to make sure the handle is like big enough to kind of diffuse the heat coming from the bottom, and like certain materials might not be conducive to that. So obviously it's not a perfect system. So if you would prefer like a mug that goes with a particular heater, I will put the link for the Ember one down there. I've never used it. I don't know if it's great, but in the comments below, let me know if there are any items that you already have or that you want to get from this video. I would love to hear it, and I always love suggestions for bookish goodness, so definitely leave it in the comments below. If you liked this video, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and hit that notification bell so that you will know when I post in the future. And I just really appreciate you being here and watching. I'm so excited to be here, and I am grateful for your support, so I hope you have a fantastic day.